So welcome, Cynthia. We are so excited to have you join us as one of our amazing fellows at the Conversation Design Institute. I feel very grateful to have the chance to introduce you to our wider world and audience. But I would love to hear, first off, a little bit of your story. How did you find yourself working in this space? What brought you here? What attracted you in?
Thank you, Sarah. Hi, hello world. I'm Cynthia Leinbach. I am the lead CX conversation designer at University of Phoenix. I am the female founder and CEO of Help Now, a volunteer organization here in the States. Also have a creative content company that quite honestly I don't do much with because I love to help people. That is how I got into conversation design and designing what I call good bots before they were agents. This co-creation of psychology and empathy and compassion and language, natural language processing, which is now prompt engineering. The whole evolution, I really came to it as a writer. I love words. I'm a wordsmith and I love to help people. So I think those two attributes were really a quite natural segue into conversation design as we know it. And yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Fantastic. What do you find most inspiring about this space at the moment? I mean, there's so much happening all the time and so much change. What are the bits that get you really fizzing with excitement?
That's a great question. I think it's the evolution, the speed at which it is escalating daily, and the opportunity that comes with that. It's no mistake that I am an optimist who focuses on the good. And I think we really need to be mindful that we are teaching consciousness. This is our job. And so embedding the core attributes of human behavior and what I have learned just in the last month, let alone the last couple of years in the AI space, is incredible. I can geek out on you if you want and elaborate.
I mean, 100%. I would love, I personally like the framing of teaching consciousness and to some broader degree, teaching humanity. Actually, some of the things that have struck me as I've spoken to you is about how we can work to build, better agents who not just meet us where we are, but perhaps can help us improve where we are. Do you have a perspective on that?
I do. I think before they can help us improve, we need to teach them why. See, prompting is a lot of telling people what to do. It's rather like a parent who tells the child what to do, but without the why and the context behind it, we're missing the whole point. We're teaching them how to be human and why. Why does that matter? If we don't go the extra mile to explain to the system why we're demanding and prompting that they act one way, without the understanding, what kind of system are we creating, right? So taking twice as long to add that anthropological, psychological, lens is everything right now. And that's honestly where I'm getting the best results. So there's that.
Which I am, in awe of and very grateful that you're here doing. Do you feel that is becoming, more practice, more normative in the field today? Or is it still, if we were having this conversation 2 years ago, I don't know that we'd be having the same conversation. Or maybe we would. What do you think?
Yeah.
Is it growing?
I mean, we would have, because I would have been talking about it. But it's not always the popular, right? People like to focus more on the negative, unfortunately, than the positive. So are we being mindful, we being me and a few others, of how we're using AI ethically, responsibly, with empathy, with consciousness? Yes, but we're not the majority. So I think that makes our mission even more important. And in this crazy time, as we'll speak a little bit about the volunteer org if you want, in this time of uncertainty globally, as we see events on the rise, as a global community, we need to be focusing on something other than this frequency that's out there. And so by channeling your precious time and energy into teaching consciousness to AI or helping the globe in another type of way, I believe that's where the work is. I kind of went off on a tangent, but that's really, people want to focus on something good, Sarah. They want to tune out of the other stuff. The other stuff is everywhere. So yeah, let me just be in a space. And that's really where my mind's at.
It's a great tangent. I don't think it was a particular tangent. So,
Thank you.
Please do tell me a little bit more about Help Now. What inspired that, and what is it that you've built or are building?
Right. So as I said, I build good bots and now agents to help others. It was the platform that gave me the widest reach professionally. And now that I'm kind of climbing to the apex of my career and beyond, when the wildfires hit Los Angeles, I'm a native Los Angelian. Like so many others, I tuned into the frequency of the news and was going to reputable sites like the Red Cross or FEMA, and it was scroll city. I was unable to find anything helpful in one tight space. And so that gave me an idea. And coming from a very hackathon friendly culture at the university, I reached out to some colleagues. I put out a APB on LinkedIn and recruited almost 40 volunteers in a weekend. And just like herding cats, brought these beautiful people from all over the world together. And we figured out a solution really relatively quickly. We had an MVP up in a month, and we still have a core group that is very active today. So from South Africa passes the torch to India, to the UK, to the Netherlands, and then the East Coast gets it, and it rolls over. And we continue to be loyal to this mission well, I didn't even say what the mission was or what we do, did I? I should back up a second. Okay. So when I saw the need and I thought, how can another bot help the world? How can an agent? How can what I do? I think that's what everyone who wants to help on a massive level starts with. Like, how could I change the world, right? Well, I could pull all these resources together and use AI and leverage what I know and get clean data and somehow build a bespoke mechanism to refresh and update that and create two paths that would put everything in one space. If a person needed assistance, there's a huge responsibility with being able to get them to safety quickly or evacuate their pets. Or if you've got a horse and you need a large animal transport, imagine the effort in an emergency condition, a wildfire of epic proportions. You take all the effort that day to get your horse to X place, and they're no longer accepting horses. How pissed are you going to be at that system? So there's a great responsibility there, right? Same with diapers, same with food, same with a shower, same with a safe space for shelter, right? So these are big things. We built an app because the world needs another app with two flows. I need help now, or I want to help now. Harnessing the best of humanity and the best of intentions and AI because of our amazing sponsor VoiceFlow. I have to give it to them. And FreeCamp for keeping us organized. And yeah, now we meet several times a week, a couple times a week. We have project manager in the Netherlands and Lagos who keep us honest. And yeah, that's the work we're doing.
I think one of the most inspiring things for me is the absolute simplicity and humanity between needing help and giving help. Like, is there anything more sort of essential in life? It's incredibly inspiring. I would like to say I hope it goes on to bigger and better things, but actually in some ways I hope it isn't needed as much or as many places, but I think we all know that it will be. The other thing I wanted to ask you a little bit about is your thoughts on if there is a big pressing challenge or topic in the field of conversation design today, where should we be looking? Like, where do you think eyes should be focused? You've solved one big pressing challenge. Where would you look next? What should we be turning our focus to as people in this space?
In what context, Sarah? Can you give me a bit more guidance on that, please?
Is there, I don't know, is there a quality issue or do you feel that bias is something we should be considering? What do you feel the sort of big issue of today, if you're involved in conversation design, is? Are there any?
Well, I think we're a relatively small community, believe it or not. So I think evangelism in a gentle way, right? Awareness. I do think that we've got a challenge that I've seen, which is a lot of good old-fashioned UX UI principles are going out the window with the speed and rush to deliver, and everyone wants to be AI ready. We're an AI ready company. Are you really? Because I don't see the old fashioned steps we use in good conversation design and good design always being applied. I feel like user testing is going right out the window because we're working so quickly to deliver. And I think that goes back to that mindfulness, right? Where is the intention and where is the mindfulness behind us as we are creating and teaching others to do as we do, right? So that's an
Brilliant.
opportunity.
Absolutely. And I suppose my last question for you is, if you were someone not yet in this field, but with an interest in it, who wanted to learn more, wanted to do more, potentially even maybe wanted to work in it in the future, do you have advice you would give to someone starting out?
Same advice I give to anyone, which is do what you love. So I hope you love helping people. I hope you like words, and I hope you like technology. And any one of those can cross over very easily into conversation design. Do you have a background in linguistics or psychology? Because then, yes, you can do this, right? Do you have that UX, UI design background? And you've heard about conversation design and been on teams with us in the past, but have really leaned more to one side, not the other. We need all of you because this is more than just the, I won't say that, it's not too nice. We need professionals and we need to train mini-me's, and we're a beautiful community. It's very global, right? It's a very global community, which is awesome. I love that about us.